Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about comparing decimals, lesson 1.5 in our Envision Math Volume 1. So I'm going to put that here. This is lesson 1.5. And this is comparing decimals. Now when we compare something, we say, is it bigger, smaller, or the same? But how do you know how to do it with numbers? Which number is bigger? But how do we do it with decimals? That's what we're going to be doing today. Okay, so here are some vocabulary words that we need to know. Less or least. That means the smallest value. Which one is the least? Which one is the smallest? We have greatest. That one is the largest value. Which one is the biggest number? Okay, so I am going to show you how I compare decimals. It is very important that we line up our decimal place values. You have to compare our ones to our ones, our tens to our tens, and our tenths to our tenths, our hundredths to our hundredths, and our thousandths to our thousandths. So what I'm doing right here is I'm drawing two boxes, or two lines, one for each number. And then we have right here, this will be our decimal right here. Okay, our decimal will be right there. I have two numbers. This is how it's going to be written. I have two numbers. This is my example. My number is 42 and 689 thousandths and 42 and 676 thousandths. I want to see if one is greater than or less than, or are they the same number? Okay. I am going to, let's see here, we're going to put where the decimal is. I'm going to write it right here, 42 and 689 thousandths. Now I'm going to line up the decimal place value, all the place value in here. Make sure I have it in the right one, 42, 676. Okay, so I have them lined up. I have to line up my decimal and go from there. Okay, now I'm going to go through and I'm going to keep going until I get to a number that's different. Okay, both of these are 4. Okay, both of those are 2. Our tenths are both 6. Oh, the 8 in the hundredths place here is larger than the 7 in the hundredths place here. So this number is larger. This says bigger value means it is greater than the other number. So that means this number is larger or greater than that number. So have you guys seen the greater than and less than signs? Basically what it means is our opening goes to our larger number. So my opening would go to here because it is a larger number, and I would say it as 42 and 689 thousandths is greater than 42 and 676 thousandths. So this is how it would be worded in the examples. It would say compare the decimals zero, move this up a little bit. Okay, 542 thousandths and 547 thousandths. Okay, so what I would do is I'm going to line up the decimals. Okay, and I'm going to start left to right. They're the same, they're the same, they're the same, they are not. This one's larger, so this number is the larger number. The way I would write it is I would make sure that the opening goes to the larger number. If I had this number on this side, the opening would flip over. So it's always open. When you were younger, they might have said the alligator opens up to the larger number. Same thing. Now the last example that you would see is order these numbers greatest to least. In other words, they want, put the numbers biggest to smallest. That's what they want you to do, okay? So I'm going to line them up the same way. So here are my numbers. 467 thousandths, 569 thousandths, and 31 hundredths. Okay, I'm going to line them up. Here we go. And I will move up move the paper over. Okay, now remember in our lessons before, if I add a 0 here, it's still the same. Okay, so if I'm missing one, we're just going to add a 0. I'm going to go, let's see here. These are the same. These are not the same. Okay, so this one's largest. So it's going to be 569 thousandths. Okay, the next largest is the 4. Okay, and the next one is the 3. There we go. That would be the greatest, largest to the smallest. Now, if they say least to the greatest, you'd have the smallest and work your way up. So now Mrs. Sirota is going to give you some examples for you to work on. You're going to complete them and submit them to this assignment, and then go on to Sabbaths, and you're going to work on lesson 1.5 to practice comparing decimals.